If you guys want a random piece of life advice?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Nope, but I'm sure you're going to give it to us.
Yeah, I am. I'm for sure going to give it to you. And this is actually like maybe more marriage advice. If you ever end up with an old El Toro bucking machine, the last thing you need to do is ask your wife for help. So don't do that for sure.
How? Okay, I'm intrigued.
Well,
How? What did you
the
need help with
situation.
the bucking machine?
Well, the situation is that Jared Johnston, great guy. He does like 40 PRCA camps at bareback rider. Does a lot of anyway. He has an old El Toro bucking machine, and it was like the one he rode in college and stuff. And he's just letting me use it for the summer because I've got all these guys coming to stay at the house and train and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome, but it needs there's a brand new motor in a box, and I got to put this new motor on it. And so I am trying to get the body off the way that you put the motor in. You could probably put it in without taking the body off, but you got to like get it under the body and then back up and on this shelf. And those motors are heavy. So I'm like, I'll just take the body off. So I have one side of the body off and the other side is like locked up. It won't come off. So I'm having some heck. So I asked Lacey to like, hey, can you just hold this? Like hold this side. It's not super heavy. Just like hold this side up. She was like, okay. So she like gets in position and turns out I guess heavier than I led her to believe it was. I didn't think it was that heavy, but at any rate, she like about throws her back out, is yelling at me, and I'm jerking on the other side trying to get it pulled out of the bearing, and it was a disaster. So everything's fine. But yeah, I mean, she didn't speak to me for like a solid 30 minutes after that. So here we are. Now the other side is just propped up on a wheelbarrow, and I'm still trying to get the other side off. So
that sounds moderately safe.
Yeah, not safe at all, actually. But anyway, I'm thinking I should have just tried to run without taking the body off.
So you don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that
was nice of him. Fun story about Jared Johnston. He's the first guy that really like took me rodeoing.
Really?
Yeah. And I was probably 18, 19, 20. First year I went, like, actually got out of the state of Texas, like I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
And me, him, Scotty Neesmith, and Jared Smith went to Florida run.
Oh, really?
And we did Okeechobee and I forget what all those were down there. Kissimmee.
Like Okeechobee, Kissimmee. Yep.
I think there's one more, something like that. And it was by far the most fun I've ever had rodeoing. Still, even all the years I went after that, those guys were my favorite to go with. They had this van that was they had like these lights in it, LED lights all around it. They had a little TV in there, but it was like one of those old vans that had the suicide doors on the side to open it up, right? And the captain's seats in the front, and then they just had a bed back in the back, and they had built in some bunks and stuff. But I just remember thinking, I was like, this is it. This is rodeo. This is so fun.
I had one of those vans when I was in college, and it was like a 94 conversion van with the extended ceiling. You know, we called it the Black Pearl. I bought it from Casey Kasem, and Casey Kasem had put 100,000 miles on it and broke it in thoroughly before I got it. But it had the suicide door on the passenger side to get in the back there, and we had a queen size air mattress blow up on a plywood platform, and then there was the driver's chair, the passenger chair, and then the two captain's chairs behind that were like, I've never sat in a chair more comfortable to this day.
No, the best.
They like reclined and swiveled. We had the TV mounted and freaking PlayStation, and man, we
that's what we had too.
Yeah, we thought we were freaking rodeoing then. I'm still, and it turns out it's the gift that keeps on giving, because I still pay for that van in student loans. To this day, that's what I use my student loans for, buying rodeo stuff. How else is a guy going to rodeo in the wintertime? Certainly wasn't winning enough for it. So you just take out student loans.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wisdom was not there.
No, I didn't even have knowledge at that point in time. I didn't even have time to turn into wisdom. It was just dumb.
Oh man.
But anyway.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, rodeo.
Jared,
he's a great guy. He's been awesome.
He is. Jared's awesome.
Yeah, he's been good, but we're gearing up for a bunch of guys coming in this weekend. It's going to be freaking awesome. Got the bunkhouse pretty well done for the time being.
All right,
And
you've been talking for 5 minutes straight. I want to know what Paul's doing.
Oh, I just heard, what are you doing this weekend? So I was like,
no, I said, Paul, what's going on with you?
Oh man,
But I do want to hear about that after, Paul.
Yeah, no, Logan can keep going. We're just we're
oh no, not now.
No, we're surviving over here.
Yeah.
Nothing much.
Just surviving.
Yeah, just surviving.
See what I saved you from?
Yeah,
literally the most boring 20 seconds.
There's no substance in this whatsoever.
So you're not doing anything this weekend? You're not?
I don't think so.
You got no plans?
No.
Just hanging out, withering away?
Yeah, pretty much.
You been training at all or been resting up?
I've been trying to rest up, man. I got something going on, like sinuses or something. It's been wrecking my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's really been like I'm trying to manage output with recovery right now, and yeah, I'm not. It doesn't feel like I'm winning on it. I wish I was, but it really doesn't feel like I'm winning on that side of things. But hopefully here in a couple of days it'll turn around. Yeah,
I just got out of that BS sinus stuff, 3 weeks with it.
Yeah,
but when I was doing that, since we talked to Adam, that was 2 weeks ago, I have been geeking out on biohacking.
Bro, I've been hammering the breath work on that app. Like, I have absolutely hammering it.
On the Logan, you download the app too?
I did. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like pretty tight on subscriptions, so I use the 3-day free trial, but I'm not paying for something else. So, however, I did buy mouth tape.
Nice.
And I've been using that at night, and not noticing a drastic difference in the quality of sleep yet, but I think it'll come. I'm only like maybe 4 or 5 nights in. So,
do you snore usually or anything?
I mean, I don't know. If it depends on who you ask. If I ask you, absolutely, I snore like a freight train. But I mean, Lacey says
when you drink.
Very, very rarely. So, but yeah, I mean, I've noticed a trend. It's really been hard to track. Some nights I've been averaging between 6 and 7 hours of sleep for the last couple weeks since I've been at home, and so I'm anywhere between 30 minutes of deep and REM all the way to some nights. It's the other night, 2 nights ago, the second night I mouth taped, I was like over an hour of both. But then like last night I was 30 minutes and 45 minutes respectively or something. So it's not like it's not been, what's the word I'm looking for? Progressively getting better. It just kind of floats a little bit, but it's definitely something that's helped me. And it also has helped me with my children.
You mouth tape them?
Well, yeah, mouth tape them during the day. Yeah. At night, I don't care if you snore, but just be quiet. It's actually a really good point. Lacey was like, hey, can I use some of your mouth tape tonight? And I was like, I'd prefer if you put it on now, actually. But that was before the bucket machine. But yeah, at any rate, I just listening to how like just about the breathing and like when they're pitching a fit, like, hey, like look at me.
Yes.
Like, hey, look at me. Like, all I want you to do right now, I'm going to help you. We're going to take care of this. All I want you to do right now is I want you to take a really big, deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And like, it takes them 30, 45 seconds before they're willing to do that. I'm like, hey, look at me. I'm going to help you. Like, let's do it. A big breath. Like, I'll do it with you. And it's crazy. I've done it twice in the last week. And the moment they do that, fit over.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I've been doing that for a while, and it's 100% success rate. Like, it works every single time.
Well, I have a little bit of like whip ass, ask questions later mindset around parenting, so like the whole breathing first thing has not really occurred to me.
Yeah. No. And like, there's definitely points like it doesn't work for all of the behavioral issues. Like yesterday was definitely whip ass mode around here, I guess. But when they like those tantrums or like those fits, like where they are getting in the like that hyperventilating kind of state because they just didn't get their way or whatever. It definitely helps big time. It helps me when they're doing the other stuff that I do want to, lash out for. If I use that on my own self, like, okay, let's take a deep breath. They don't understand what's going on right now. They're little kids. No need to get worked up.
Yes, they are. That is the hardest thing and most frustrating thing to understand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, they do not understand.
That was all day yesterday. Upset. And like Doug texted me last night. He's like, "Oh, how's everything going?" I was like, "Have you ever tried to wrestle 3 hungry crocodiles at one time?" I said, "It's been about like that." And that was just the story of the entire day. And then last night, really looking forward to getting to the sleep because I'm trying to get over this whatever sinus deal. I'm like, oh, tonight's going to be a great night's sleep. I'm going to lay down. Like, I'm tired, actually. Like, I'm actually winding down. I'm sticking to my routine. And, there couldn't have been more disruptions of my sleep last night. From between the kids, the dog. We had the loudest thunderstorm I've ever heard in my entire life happen about 3:30. And so, it was not the cherry on top of the rough day that I wanted. And so my brain's not working super awesome yet this morning, but we'll get there.
Chug that coffee.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
I made one cup and it wasn't sufficient, so I had to immediately make a second one for this.
Yeah, I hear that. I've always taken magnesium supplement, something for sleep, mouth tape for sure. When I mouth tape, it's like a 1 or 2 point difference in my HRV or my mostly my resting heart rate. Because I don't know, when I get to mouth breathing, I'm just breathing more. That's the things I see affected more, not necessarily getting into the REM or deep sleep. But speaking of that, when I was rewind like 8 minutes or whatever, when I was saying that I was geeking out on biohacking or whatever, and then the supplements, I got into this whole other thing. And you guys know I tried the liposomal vitamins. There's like this winter or something. It was before the NFR. I liked them. I saw some differences. I came across this other company called Sunny Within, and I got 2 of their products. But this first one is their deep sleep. It has 2 different kinds of magnesium in it, L-theanine, and apigenin, chamomile extract, GABA, and then 5-HTP, which I know is like they use that in Onnit supplement that's like this. And it was whenever one of Rogan's episodes when Bert was on it, and he had been like getting real like messed up. And he showed up to the show. He was having like an anxiety attack, and they gave him that supplement with the 5-HTP, and it's supposed to help that. And like 20 minutes later, he's like, "Dude, I feel so much better." And so I was just thinking, like, I haven't done a lot of research on exactly what it does, but just for me, I was thinking, I deal with little anxiety and things like that. I would love for that to be in there. And I tried Onnit supplement years ago and I liked it. But needless to say, holy smokes, guys, the recovery was insane. So I've been trending really good, like, well, I'm going to show you this the best I can. So the yellow was me being sick, right? And I'm getting better and getting better. Those first 3 greens are 80s, that it's like 82 to 84%. And then this last one, first night using this, is a 94% recovery. But that wasn't like cool. 94% recovered battery charge. I haven't been training hard. Like I had, there's a lot of things that I should be 94% recovered, but the stats were where I was fired up about. So man, I just always have low HRV. I'm like in the 30s, always. That's like 32, 33 is good for me. So last night I was a 40, which is like a 30 something percent increase overnight. My resting heart rate was 5 beats lower than it usually is. And I was in deep sleep or REM for 3.5 hours.
Wow.
It's like, what?
That was a solid night.
The kid, but he was up every hour. Like I woke up every hour with him, not like getting up.
Yeah, but
my wife's an absolute rock star and does that. But like he woke me up. You know what I mean? So that just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I usually never can go right back to sleep, and I only slept for just a little bit over 6 hours. But I think that
So like
supplement,
over half of your sleep was restorative sleep.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, which is huge.
54% was restorative.
Yeah.
It'll be wild to like come back next week on the podcast and like look at it after 7 days and just see
Bear
like
hunting, yeah, I'll be
consistent.
dead.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. bad data.
Yeah.
Guys, rodeo season is picking up. It's time to gear up with the best in the business. Beastmaster Rodeo is fully stocked and ready to get you dialed in for the rest of the season. If you're going to ride or compete at your best, you better get gear that works as hard as you do. They just launched their new Pro Gel line. This includes their neck rolls, rig and handle pads, Brazilian and American bull rope pads, and tailbone pads for all you rough stock riders. This stuff is a game changer. It's built to absorb impact, provide unmatched comfort. It's going to help keep you in the game and in the arena longer. And y'all, they're not stopping there. They have new boots, chaps, dummies, all are rolling out this season so you can keep pushing the limits with the best in durability and performance. And as a listener to the Champion Living podcast, you get the exclusive hookup. Use our discount code Champion Living, all one word. Going to save you 10% on your entire order. Y'all, don't settle. Gear up for the best. Gear up with the best. Beastmasterrodeo.com. Check them out.
No, that'll be good because I'm gonna take it with me while I'm hunting. I got there. It's called Superhuman. I've been really interested in NAD. It's got NAD, MCT, glutathione, most powerful antioxidant in the world. I really saw differences when I was taking that. I forget what that other company is called, but they're all liposomal. They avocado oil and almond butter is what they're mixed with.
Remind me,
It tastes like honey.
You've got a couple of these different things. It looks like they're pouches.
They're all pouches.
Which ones did you get? You got the Sweet Dreams and the what?
I got the Sweet Dreams and the Superhuman.
Okay, interesting.
And I don't remember how much they were. It's not inexpensive, but I feel like we've said a million times, if you're going to get supplements, like getting the top quality is going to cost a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you pay for what you get, right?
Yeah.
The Sleep Within, it tasted like chocolate and honey. It was wild. It was so good. This other one is kind of throws me off because it's watermelon lime, but it's like got the consistency of almond butter. So like it tastes good, but when it's just your brain's going like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, this taste is not lining up with the texture. I took the longevity this morning. I drank a quarter cup of coffee and put the coffee down because I was like good to go. It has a ton of B12 in it. And it's methylated, which is even better. Like the body's going to process a lot better, but it has 2,000 mcgs. What's mcg?
Micrograms.
83,000% of your daily value. So, hello.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm saying that after one try of each. So,
yeah.
But I really did the pouches, man. They're so convenient. You can take them everywhere with you.
That's what I was thinking. I like the
no
delivery
space.
method. Like,
Yeah.
that would be easy to pack, easy to take, easy to be consistent with. I feel like,
And yeah, that's why I love Frog Fuel too.
yeah,
Because it's just reach, grab, done. 15 grams. I wish they could figure out. I wonder why they haven't tried to put more protein in it. And I wonder if it's because it would just like, for lack of better terms, you just shit it out.
Yeah.
If it would be too much,
You wreck the consistency too of the dose. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
Interesting.
All right, Logan. You don't have to be quiet anymore.
I'm pretty boring on supplements. Like good.
Are you?
Creatine.
Dude, that's one thing I need to add. I need to add creatine, especially after all these studies about the sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
a lot and taking it.
Yeah, I've been balling out on. I swapped to creatine gummies. There's a company you can get on Amazon, and
So how many are you eating a day? Like what's
2 gummies is 5 grams, which I like. A lot of gummy companies, it's like 5 gummies, and it's a pretty that's to get 5 grams, and I'm like, man, and the consistency's horrible. These are like gummy bears, and they're this same size as a normal gummy bear, and I've been averaging between 20 and 35 grams a day, and it's like, man, I feel a difference. It's been consistent now for probably 45 days, and I do feel a difference. There are days where I forget. My wife puts them away. Who would do that? Why would you put them in the cabinet? Anyway, when they're put away, I don't see them, and so I don't think about it. So there have been days,
same way, dude.
And I've noticed a difference on days where my intake is a little higher. I feel as though being able to be present and getting in the zone and just like cognitively knocking stuff out. Like if I never do more than, and I don't know, obviously I haven't read the research enough to say whether that heavy dose needs to all be at once. I'd never dose it more than 10 or 15 grams at a time, because the first time I dosed 10 grams, it was a powder form. And Paul was like, well, you watch your guts. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm going to tell you, about an hour after I took those 10 grams, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And so I've since 10 to 15 grams at a time, and it's totally fine, but I don't really
with the gummies though. It's been fine.
Yeah. With the gummies,
Okay.
I don't really want to play around with more than that. So I spread it out. And in the morning, I'll take, 10 grams. And then I feel as though like 30 or 45 minutes from then, I just am able to focus a little bit better. And then maybe after lunch, I might take another, 10 or 15 grams, somewhere around in there. So the package that I found has, a bottle has 90 gummies in it. So 45 days worth if you just take 5 grams, and it comes in a 2-pack. So you really get, 90 days if you are only taking 5 grams, and it's $29.95 for that. It's like hard to beat the price. It's creatine monohydrate. So, anyway, that's pretty much the only thing I consistently take, except for entirely too much caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I think breaking it up across the days is better anyways than taking a big dose, even if you could. I'm a firm believer that like keeping it in the system, right, is going to go further than.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought, right? Like what we know, the studies I have read about why creatine is helpful for the brain is because your brain is always firing. And so that ATP production, right, is consistently. And so if you took the big dose in the morning and that was it, I would assume that like that gets used up at some point in time throughout the day. And then you're back to baseline levels. We understand in the muscles, creatine stores get full. You can take extra. It's not doing anything for you, but that's not why I'm taking extra. My creatine stores in my muscles should be full. It's for the cognitive function. And so spreading it out throughout the day, in my head, with absolutely no research paper that proves this otherwise, right? That makes more sense. So I need to do a little bit more research, but it was actually a client that brought it to me first. He was like, man, I've been taking like 15 or 20 grams based on this podcast I listened to. And I'm like, 20 grams of creatine? What's wrong with you, bro? It's dumb. And so, but then I listened to the podcast, and then I think like Paul maybe sent a research article or something about extra doses. And so, and then I was like, all right, whatever, I'll give it a try. And I went in to get some creatine gummies. I was just going to buy some at the supplement shop. So I called Paul afterwards and I was like, hey, don't try to discuss supplementation with the bro that works at the supplement store. And so I was talking to him about like single serving, creatine, and he was like, oh yeah, why is that? And I was like, well, I kind of been playing around with some higher doses and talking to him about these research studies. And he's like, yeah, it's completely unnecessary, bro. If you want big muscles, man, you just got to take 5 grams a day. And I was like, well, it's not for that. It's for TBIs. And he's like, what are TBIs? And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Sounds
so
like you have
thank
one, bro.
you. Awesome. Perfect. Anyway, so yeah, creatine.
Noted. Do not talk to the bro.
Don't. They typically. I have found some periodically. Typically, in my experience, it's been at a GNC that are actually helpful and are actually like
I've had an opposite experience.
Oh, really? Oh, my bad. Yeah. Well, it's only been one time. So when I say typically, I mean one time. And it was this guy, and he wasn't super jacked, but like he was in shape. And I was talking to him about some supplements, and this was also 10 years ago. I didn't know that he didn't know what he was talking about. So maybe there's a good possibility. I've had zero experiences, but he wasn't pushy, and he wasn't like, this is what you got to have, this and that. Like he was like, hey, if this is what you're looking for, I would recommend this, or this product. Like he seemed to be very knowledgeable and was very helpful and wasn't pushy. And a lot of times you go in and you're like, oh, bro, yeah, this is what you got to have. But I'm like, whatever, dude.
Let's talk about something we haven't talked about in a long time, losing weight. I've had a lot of people drop into my DMs about trying to get some pounds off. I think it's because summer's coming, whether it's, getting ready to rodeo or just wanting to look good in a swimsuit. But it is, I had somebody ask me, essentially they have a very busy lifestyle and they started eating more fruits and vegetables because they think, we're told, read something like that. I didn't really ask. They just said that it would help them lose weight, right? Like I had not much behind it. And so I was at a moment where I was like, okay, this is not bad, but people just, we don't know. We don't know what to do, right? And so I, oddly enough, was reading through Reps, Lane Norton's research and review. And there is an article. I was like, this is like meant to be, but fruits and veggies won't stop weight gain from ultra processed foods is the title of the article. And I was like, okay, let's see what this has to say. It's going to tell me exactly what I thought. Basically, it's a 12-month follow-up study on participants. It's in Brazil, but the thing I liked about it was the study group wasn't just 12 people. I think it was, give me 2 seconds, 3,414 participants aged 20 years and older. Yeah. So it's a large study, right? Yeah. This is like something that's like, okay, that is tangible evidence.
Over 12 months too. Yeah. A lot of people over this 12 months. This is a
follow-up of 20 after 12 months.
Yeah.
So what they were testing was the effects of UPFs, ultra-processed foods, the intake on weight in participants engaged in health promotion program encouraging fruit and vegetable consumption. What they found, a higher percentage of calorie intake from ultra processed foods led to significant weight gain over the trial period. The nutritional intervention, increasing fruit and vegetables, was not sufficient in preventing weight gain due to the excessive consumption of other ultra processed foods. So what this means, we've said this a million times, if you want to maintain a healthier weight, these findings emphasize that simply eating healthier food options is not enough if UPFs is still the highest amount of your intake of calories. So reducing the ultra processed food consumption is the most critical thing when it comes to losing weight, right? And I mean, it's cool in America to see this, I don't want to say awakening, but kind of this transition that the whole country is going through. They're banning dyes. They're banning all kinds of things that for foods. The FDA is having different guidelines. Like things are changing here, which is cool, which means the education level, the awareness of these things is going to go up as a whole, which means hopefully ultra processed foods will be not making their way out because I don't think they ever will. I think there is a place for certain parts of that, right? Also, we live in America, so if you want to make and eat ultra processed foods, go ahead. It's your choice. But if we're trying to lose weight, be healthier, number one thing to do is to try and eliminate those. Summer run's coming up. Like those kinds of foods are on the menu. How do we limit that? How do we regulate that? So let's just say summer in general, people are going on vacation. Like it doesn't even matter if it's a rodeo athlete. What would your guys' advice be for people that want to lose weight but are going to have a busy summer, a busy lifestyle? How do we start eliminating those ultra processed foods and getting to the less processed side?
Man, it just starts with awareness. Like download a tracking app and start tracking, because and it's painstaking. It's kind of monotonous, but you don't know what you don't know. And once you can see the calorie differences there, like that was one of the big things that stood out, was what you said, is like the calorie contents of ultra processed foods is insanely higher than if you eat a whole food diet or a mostly whole food diet. I don't swear off, and none of us do. We don't swear off fast food. Like, on a travel day, a heavy travel day, like we'll grab fast food every now and then, but it's going to make up less than 20% of our total calories for the week. When you can see that Chick-fil-A meal is 1,200 calories or more, depending on the size of the fries and drink that you get, versus if you made your food at home, it's about 750 calories, almost half. Like, and you're more full from the food that you prepped at home than you were when you ate the Chick-fil-A. You probably could have still ate more. You wanted the cookie afterwards, adding another 300 calories. Like, it's really easy to see, like, okay, you're getting a half of your daily intake from one meal. So if you ate fast food one time a day for an entire week, you're maybe doubling, if not more than that, your entire calorie intake for the week. That's a recipe to add weight really, really fast. So by just being aware of like the calorie contents of what's going in and what you're getting versus what it could be if you were eating mostly whole foods, I think is the first step. Because once you see that number, like I'm motivated by numbers. And so like when I can see a number, it makes it real for me. And so when I see that and I'm like, oh, okay, like the easy fix here is to just have a little bit more forethought and planning and eat a more whole food diet.
I love it. Love it. Logan, what do you got?
That was what I was going to say. Is you gotta plan ahead. When I start to see clients really get wins is when they start thinking about the next meal before it's there. What are we gonna do for lunch, right? Like you don't have to build your whole day around it, but you do have to at least give it some thought, because otherwise that's when you get caught with your pants down, right? And there's too many opportunities now for, especially like, I mean, rodeo athletes or, with rigs, right? Like I get it. You might not be able to afford a truck in Capri, or you might not have a big van with a fridge and whatnot. But even with that being said, like, man, I've got a client that's got a minivan. He's got solar hooked up on this minivan, and he's got like a mini fridge that goes in there. He's got a spot where he like underneath the back of the bed, he opens the van door and can roll out this like tray where he puts his little mini Blackstone and stuff, and he can pack a cooler full of, like, if you want it bad enough,
there's a will, there's a way.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly right. And you just have to care enough. And so typically speaking, when it comes to the summertime, most of my rodeo athletes that I work with end up losing weight. They're not eating as much, and a lot of the food quality, like you guys said, is not great. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to also give yourself some grace. Things are hard when we're on the road. Like, it just is what it is. And I'm gonna tell you, at 2 a.m., I'm not above smashing some Casey's pizza. Be 100%, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. The goal is not that you completely eliminate those things, like Paul said, but that you are able to get back on the horse the next day and not completely fall off the wagon because you had a bad day. One of the most impactful things that Paul said, I thought, was calories over the course of the week. We are looking at things in the big picture. We're not looking at how good or bad today was. We're looking at things in the big picture. And so, yes, Casey's pizza every day, I would be way fatter than I already am, right? But every once in a while, totally fine. And I lose no sleep over it. It's not something that keeps me up at night because I made a bad food choice. And I think that that's a healthy way to view this. As you're on the road, understand that there are going to be times like it just is what it is.
Going a little bit further with that and expanding on the bad bro advice like you had gotten from the supplement store. I remember when I was young, one guy that was really jacked at the gym told me, he's like, I saw him like eating donuts, and we were away from the gym. He was eating donuts, like multiple donuts, and he's like, "Well, I already ate one. I might as well just eat more. The day's already ruined." That's not how it works. I subscribed to that method for a little while, and let me tell you, that's not how it works. If you like slip up and eat a bad food, give into a craving, or grab something quick because it's convenient, like that's okay, but like leave that one where it was in the past. Like don't keep carrying on that mentality of like, well, today's already ruined. Like the 24-hour window doesn't matter. Like that's why I like to speak in weeks of calories now, because that 24-hour window does not matter in the grand scheme of things. Like just because you ate one bad food doesn't mean you can keep eating bad foods the rest of the day. Don't want to say bad foods. You eat one high calorie food. Like don't just continue that trend for the rest of the day and say you're going to get back on it tomorrow. Like literally try and get back on it. Like back on the quote unquote wagon the following meal. Like be like, okay, I had to give a little bit here because I was in a bind and I was really hungry and I was getting moody and maybe I was snapping at my buddies or whatever. And so I had to eat something. Like now let's try and plan ahead for the next meal and get something a little bit more sustainable.
Yeah. I think that's called discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. There's behavior change that goes with this. Like I said, my first thing would be awareness, but like the behavior change is going to be a little bit longer term.
Absolutely. Process. You got to be aware of what you're doing and what your tendencies are, you know what I mean, to actually put a stop to them. And so if you're someone, and this is wild because like food is a total addiction, especially when it gets to like these ultra processed versions of food. They become very addictive, right? And I was talking with a buddy of ours, and he's a client, but he's been stopped drinking in December, he smoked cigarettes for a good half of his life, got on nicotine pouches after that, the Zins, and then quit cold turkey. But since then has been eating like candy and stuff like that. And like the other day I was talking with him and he's like, this candy sucks, but I just keep eating it. I can't stop eating it. I'm like, that's just your brain, like literally replacing those other addictions for something else, right? For another fixation or whatever. And so the behaviors that you have to be aware of, like it just goes from one thing to another, right? And if you don't stop the actual root of it, we're never going to get anywhere. And that's the hardest damn thing. And especially when it comes to, and I really do believe those ultra processed foods can be more addicting than some drugs. And that's a bold statement, but just looking at the path that people go down,
I don't think it's that bold, because if you look at the people that are addicted to drugs and the people that are addicted to food, there's way more people addicted to food. I think that's safe to say. They're literally designed to be that way. You don't just eat one Dorito. Like, have you ever eaten one Dorito? Like, no,
absolutely not. And my weakness over here is Cheez-Its, dude.
Yeah.
And I looked at the ingredients yesterday. I don't think I've ever looked at the ingredients in the box because I just didn't want to know.
Want to.
And it, like they're I freaking love them, man. I can sit there and eat a whole damn box in a sitting, no problem. That's the problem. But it wasn't that bad. The worst thing I thought about it was just the amount of oils in there. There's never just one kind of oil. It has to be a mixture of oil, right? But I wasn't too disappointed with it. Also, I looked at a bag of Fritos the other day and was actually not disappointed at all. So that's probably the healthiest chip you could get. Straight up, just a regular old Frito. It's been around since I don't even know when, the 50s or something.
Just like corn chips, right?
Yeah,
it's like more or less like yeah.
That's it. Yeah, but I'll get down with some Fritos every now and then. But just being aware, right? Like be aware of what you're putting in your body. And Logan said you don't have to make your day about it, but I think plug it into your day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Make your day is the same, but find those times to eat. Yeah, and that's what the we get to time management. That's part of the discipline. That's part of this whole thing. No matter what you want to do, lose weight, win rodeos, get rich, like all of the things you have to be disciplined, and they're all holding hands essentially, right? And your time management is directly tied to you losing weight. If I said that to somebody just out of the blue, they'd be like, what are you talking about? How? You know, it's like, well, you have to time when you're going to eat. If you have a busy day like ours, you look at our schedules, dudes, and like there isn't a whole lot of white space to fill it in, right? Like to fill in these times where you have to eat. So you have to be very diligent and make sure that you're going to do it. Like being too busy isn't an option. And same thing. I had this conversation with the same guy. He had been training a lot, been working out, feeling good, got too busy, quote unquote, hasn't been working out for a couple months. And it's like I can just see the changes physically happening in him too when we chat on FaceTime or whatever. And it's like I told him yesterday, I'm like, dude, you have to get back to that. Like that's not an option. You're not too busy. Because if you don't take care of yourself, it doesn't matter how busy you are, because eventually you're not going to be able to take care of that stuff. And that's what fires me up is people feel the good that happens when they start training and being dedicated, and then they think they're there, think, oh, we've done it, we're just, that's going to be like that forever. And it just isn't like that. It's like this forever, and that's the hardest part. We have to do this stuff over and over and over till we die.
Yeah,
literally. Any people, I think, just think that when you get there, that's it, we made it, it'll be easy to maintain. But what happens is you get that mentality, and all of a sudden you look back and it's been 6 months since you've done something. Right? It's not just a week anymore. It's not just a couple days. It's the 6 months of no consistency. And back to something again, I think Logan or Paul, I can't remember which one of you said it, but you're not going to lose in a day. You don't lose anything in a day. That mentality of, oh, I messed up once, I might as well just mess it up all the way.
Yeah.
It never, wars aren't lost in one day usually, right? They're lost over a series of losses. And quote unquote casualties, if you will.
Yeah.
But we can compare it to the same way to this. Like you fall into that trap and that loop, you end up in a very, very deep hole. And all of a sudden it's been 10 years instead of a week of you looking back at it, right?
Hui has the best gear because it's tough. It's durable. It withstands the test of what we put it through. And that is why I am a big supporter of Hui brands. Guys, from hats, apparel, whatever you need, they've got you covered. They are the perfect blend of rodeo style and athletic performance. You can check them out at huibrands.com. Use our discount code ChampionLiving, all one word, is going to save you a little bit at checkout.
I like how you frame that. Like it is a journey. We call it a fitness journey for a reason, because it is a lifelong pursuit. Like one of the lessons that I learned, at least on a weekly basis, is the too busy thing. Like when I'm busy, it's almost worse that I literally work in my gym. Like it's like a blessing and a curse. I could work out whenever I want, or I could say like I could keep putting it off. Say like I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. If I don't, one of the biggest there was a quote I think I seen, like if you don't make time for your health and fitness now, it will force you to make time later through illness and hospitalizations. And like I literally have to learn that on a weekly basis. It's like I can, if I think I'm too busy and I skip my workouts, like cool, I might have got something done and I didn't, miss the workout. But if I get my workout in first, I still get everything else done. Like it doesn't slow me down. Like the taking that hour for my own health has no negative side effects at all.
I think that it probably I feel better when I go back to my job, when I go back to work after I work out, right?
Yeah.
Like I do my job better. I feel I'm happier. It's a win across the board for me. But as life gets busier, I've noticed I have to hit it in the morning, or there's a chance I'm not doing it. Exactly. It's not that I'm not going to do it. I will work on it in the afternoon. I got no problem with it, but it just gets way easier to not fit it in. And I'm not, again, total transparency, I've been going through some shit lately, just with myself, like personally, and feeling kind of that stuck, and not sorry for myself really, but a little bit. Like, why can't this just be easier? Why can't, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And I just had a moment where I was tired of feeling like that. And you have to be real with yourself and do that look in the mirror thing, which always sucks. But I just was like, you're being a bitch. Literally. You are just being a little crying bitch about this, and you need to figure it out. And I know how to figure it out. And that is getting into my planner and writing out everything that I need to do, my goals. Like, I've been calling a bunch of people lately just because I've been feeling off, and I'm like, when I feel like that, I call my close friends, some older, some same age, then maybe a little younger, get advice and just hear different perspectives. And it usually helps me out a lot, but this shit ain't going away is what I've come to the conclusion of, right? This feeling like as you get older, it does not get easier. It just gets harder. And I was even saying, a good buddy of mine, entrepreneur, business owner as well, he said, and he's in his, about to be 55, 54, something like that. But he's been through a lot more life than we have, right? And I said, we're doing the best we've ever done. Like everything is going so well business wise. We're all coaching wise. We're killing it. Like we're all on top of our game. So like, I feel like I have less now than I did when I owned the gym and was literally penny to penny every month. Like I feel like I'm making more, quote unquote, but making less, if that makes sense. Like making the least I ever have. And he's like, dude, that never stops. Like that's the point where you level up. That's when everyone quits. He said, and I always go back to what Kojo told me years ago, pressure is a privilege. Right? You get to choose that. But these pressure points is where you level up. You either squeak through the hole and come out on top, or you just keep getting sucked down in it. And so he said, double down. It's like, you need to be even more disciplined. You need to like go even harder after your goals and make your goals even bigger. And so I did. And I've been, just kind of getting back into that. I don't know. I feel like me again, like that grinding part of myself that, I don't know, when we were rodeoing, I always felt the dog in me. You know what I mean? Like you got to go nod your head and like be that guy. And it just looks different now. And so I just kind of got this new fire in me. I've been up till like 11 or 12 every night working, and not because I'm making myself, but because my brain is literally like, oh, go write this down. Oh, this is sick. Let's keep rolling with it. I'm just feeling like a little bit of a flow state, which is, I haven't felt that in a long time, guys, which is cool. We've been doing this for 5 years, which is not that long. But when you do it every single day, all day, and this is all you think about, it can feel like it's been way longer than 5 years at times. And it can get really easy to get complacent or just feel like you're stuck. And I think we've done a really good job of fighting through those times and realizing that just means we need to change and update what we're doing, upgrade ourselves, which makes us better all around for our athletes, for podcasting, for all the things, right? OPAs, but we don't talk about how hard it is sometimes. And I think a lot of folks are going through stuff like this and think they're the only ones, right? Guys, it's tough for everyone, no matter what you're doing out there. And the things that make it better are you staying hooked and consistent. And no matter what happens, like just keep your head down and keep going. Cause there's been a lot of things lately that I've just been wanting to say, F it. Like, I'm over it. Let's go on to the next thing. And I made myself stay hooked. And there's like in this little voice, I swear I'm not crazy, but like literally I've been feeling like this little like self-talk thing that tells me like, I'll think one way the way I normally would. And it literally like, nope, that ain't it. Like, that's not how we do it. You need to like reframe that thought. So the last few weeks, Ben, I've just been working on stuff like that. And I've been feeling way better about everything and feeling on top of the game. And just for anyone listening, like it's hard for everyone.
Yeah.
This shit is not easy.
That goes,
and the older you get, the more you realize it. Go ahead, Paul.
That goes for no matter what your goal is in fitness, no matter what your goal is in, your life, your business, like whatever, like the one thing that like gives me comfort, because I like the hard times come for everything. Like I struggle with my sleep. I'll struggle with nutrition. I'll struggle with fitness. I'll struggle with business. Like no matter, like the struggles are always going to be there. There's going to be, seasons where it feels like you're rolling downhill 100 miles an hour and everything's easy. And then there's other seasons where it feels like you're rolling uphill 1 mile an hour, really fighting it. But like the mindset that you can adopt, and this isn't like an overnight thing. I didn't just all of a sudden get this. It took a lot of work, but like I'm not going to give up. I'm just not going to quit. no matter what it is. Like once I set my mind to something, like it's just I'll bitch and complain about some of the roadblocks for sure, but it's not going to stop me. Like I'm not going to completely stop or go backwards. Like it's okay if it slows me down, but I'm not going to
I got to
quit.
find this quote I just saw this morning, and it said, "Hold on one second." It said, what you just said. I'm not going to quit. It said, being concerned with winning and being concerned with outlasting are two different games. Once you figure that out, you unlock a new level. And it's like that right there is, man, that's crucial. Go ahead, Logan. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
No, that's just, I mean, what both of you guys are describing is it's what makes life crisis. It's what makes life beautiful.
Yeah.
This is life. You know what I'm saying? And what it is it's like, it's finding out where your priorities lie. And it's the seasons of life in which we ebb and flow and things shift and are priority and not priority. And it's like, everybody goes through those times where it's hard. Everybody goes through those times where things are good. But the reality is that's what makes it, that's where joy is found. If you can't be content when things are hard, you're not going to be content when things are good either. And so finding that process of what, no matter what it is, over 200 something episodes, we've given, hours and hours and hours of advice. It doesn't matter what tools you have to use, whether it's time tracking, whether it's food tracking, whether it's whatever, it doesn't matter. The reality is that you have to find whatever tools you need to get through the season of life that you are in and come out on the other side a better person, because there is no destination that any of us will ever get to that will ever fulfill us. The journey is the destination. That is the process. Employing the tools and doing the things and becoming a better individual through those challenges that's the point. The point's not to come out on the other side. The point is today. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just something that I've been dwelling on lately, is this idea of being faithful, right? Like, even when I don't feel like it, whether it's the gym, whether it's nutrition, whether it's something in your spiritual life, whether it's whatever, not allowing emotion to rule my decisions and being faithful on the things that are most important to me on a daily basis. And it's okay if those change over time.
I think that is so important, especially for times where I think we've all probably been in this position, but you do something long enough, you feel like you're almost owed something. Like you've earned this thing, right? And a lot of times people get to that point and they quit or, get sour about something. And man, rodeo is a number one thought in my head here, right?
Yes.
Guys go forever and it just can't come together. They could ride, they could think they rode great, but something always happens, right? They're always getting quote unquote screwed over or whatever. But your perspective, like what Logan is talking about, taking control of that is so, so important, because at the end of the day, no one knows you anything really. Like all of these things that happen in life, you get to control how you feel about them, and you don't have to feel good about all of them, but you also don't have to let them ruin your day, your career, how you feel for the thing as a whole. And I used to let that happen with rodeo so bad, dude. Oh my God.
Because you can't see the outcome. You can't see where you're going to be in 20 years. And like, this is the point that I want to make, is that I started getting on bulls when I was 15. And I rode bulls for a few years, was horrible. I got on bulls for a few years and was horrible. And I started riding bareback horses in high school rodeo. And then I started going to amateur rodeos, and I got to pro rodeo for about 15 years. And every single buck off, every single relationship that I made over the last 20 years of my life, every decision that I've made for my future, even in the things that didn't go the way that I thought to, every single buck off that I've had, all of the life experiences that I have gained, even in the suck, have all brought me to this moment today, in which I'm coaching athletes, doing what I love, and I'm opening up the bunkhouse for the first time in my life, a dream that I've had for 15 years. And I have athletes coming to spend the weekend and get tuned up. You know why? I was on the way to this when I was 15 and nodded my head on my first bull ever. I had no idea. I didn't know what my life had in store, but that journey, that process of becoming the person that you're going to be, and I'm still there. I haven't made it. I'm not giving up. I want to be faithful even in this season where dreams are actually starting to come true. What's going to be true in 20 years from now, Lord willing? Like, I have no idea, but I know that if this is ever as good as it gets, if this is it, I'm happy, man. I get to live a dream. I get to coach athletes and do what I love every day. And that journey, that suck that you've been going through and the sickness that Paul's had here lately, and all those things are like just navigating like a rudder on a huge ship, right? They're just turning ever so slowly. The water is always moving, and all of those things, good or bad, like, man, they point the ship a direction. And it's just, man, I think that the grind, the hustle, the hard times are just as important, if not more so, than the good stuff.
My son said something last night. You were talking about faithfulness. Something spilled. Like, I don't remember what it was. There was an accident. Somebody spilled something. And Cannon stops and he goes, God knew that was going to happen before it ever happened.
Yes, he did.
And I was like, dude, yeah, he did. And it got me thinking. I was like, not just that though, like every hardship, every buck off, every injury, every life situation, like it was already in your plan. Like, it was already there. And here we are complaining about it, wishing it would have changed. But like, if you want to talk about faithfulness, like being faithful to the process and to your journey, like, you're right where you're supposed to be. So don't wish it away, I guess. Like, keep your head down and keep working.
Don't expect it to be what you think it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because it's never going to be that.
Yeah.
Just do the thing because you love it, whatever it is, and stay, like you said, faithful to that process. And the outcome, probably going to be pretty good. And that applies across the board for anything in life, right? Damn. Dr. Phil should freaking call us.
There's plenty of hardships. I'm gonna try not to get a divorce while I work on this bucking machine.
That's good. You know how you just don't have her help you. That's what I would do.
Yeah, well, it's it's all about the person I'm becoming while working on this bucking machine, and that's
right.
Sounds like you might be becoming a monster.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to. Really hard not to.
Oh man, it's just guys and girls are different, brother. We operate on way different wavelengths.
Very true.
I figured that out as a new father. I'm learning all about this. I am learning all about this, my friend. And I don't think all guys are the same, but emotions, like, yeah, I have emotions, but I just, women have a lot of them, and I just don't understand all of them. And at times it gets bad for old Dougie over here. Yeah. But like you said, it's learning, understanding. Yeah, dude, changing things about yourself. Like, everyone told me, like, as a dad, you're going to get so much more patient. It's not that you just get more patient, you practice patience. And you
build patience painstakingly.
Again, it's a journey.
Yes, all of it. And just like, they don't talk about it.
What drove you nuts when you first brought the baby home? Now you don't even notice.
Anymore. Yeah.
No.
It's a
dude, half of these things that used to literally make me feel like I might implode from the inside out. I don't even have
yeah.
Some of that shit used to make me go cross-eyed. I feel like some of those noises, like some of the screams, like I'm just like I'm out, dude. And now it's just everything else is way less intense, if that makes sense. All these little things that used to, I feel like we were a big deal in life. I'm like, all right, like, I tell you what.
Yep.
The Navy, Army, Marines, all the special forces, if they don't play screaming babies in dark rooms for whatever to torture people, they fucking should, because this stuff is wild, man. Absolutely wild. But yeah, you learn, you adapt, you become better. And man, I know that feeling I was going through the last couple of weeks of just feeling like you're getting your butt kicked, and it's never gonna get better. realizing that is 100% you and how you're thinking about it. And I'm talking about myself, right? It was such a, it felt so good to realize that, dude, this is you. You can fix this. This is all on yourself. Get yourself out of this hole and go do it. So I literally sat down and started writing. I got a printer. I feel pretty old school, but I've got freaking a damn near a book of things I typed out about how to achieve what I want, not just myself to achieve, but us, like, our families, like us as a whole, us as a business, like all of these things. And it just, when you start writing that out and putting all those thoughts, all those worries on paper, dude, game changer.
Yeah.
It really does help. And it's one of those things that if you told me this 10 years ago when I was 25, I would say, that's gay. Like, lack of better terms, you know what I mean? Like, I would have been like, that's stupid. And now I wish all these things that people tell you, you're not going to believe me right now, but in 10 years, you're going to wish you would have taken this seriously. Damn it. I wish I would have back then, for real. Because the wisdom that they were trying to pass on, I just didn't take. And now you're gaining that wisdom on my own. It's like, man, it could have been way simpler if you would have just listened to these people when you were younger. But preach, baby. All these young kids listening like this old SOB. God, shut up, Doug.
No, it's true. That process of putting stuff out on paper is extremely valuable. I know Paul's used that quite a good bit with clients lately, and I have too, in journaling and whatnot. And just when you say that word out loud, journaling, people are like, it's just cringeworthy a little bit, right? Like, oh, dear diary. Yeah. And it's like, no, that's not at all what we're doing today. Yeah, but getting the internal chatter out on paper.
Wait, that's not how you guys do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can if you want to. Yeah. I had some clients write out their negative thoughts, the things that they say to themselves that they didn't, that they're maybe like set a 5-minute timer as fast as you can. Like, what are the things that you say about yourself that are negative? And what we find is that most of them come back and they're like, some of these things are ridiculous. Absolutely. Just by getting that internal chatter out on paper, you're able to look and see how foolish and how silly and completely ungrounded in reality they are. And you're able to start dismissing some of those negative thoughts about yourself. But it all starts with getting the internal chatter out on paper. And it's wildly valuable. And it's one of those things that is very easy to do, very simple. And so it's often neglected.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, this was fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh, hey, real quick. You and Al, just a thought. You guys need to. So Lacey hatched chickens the other day. You guys should 100%. It's the wildest thing ever. I thought it was a joke when she said, but she bought an incubator and she put 21 days. That's all it takes. We have 5 chicks. It's crazy.
Nice.
They're like,
I don't want any more chickens. That would mean I have way more eggs than I already do.
You can start eating them.
Yeah. Well, that's what we might be. I mean, we might be doing. We're about to eat this. We're about to eat this rooster. I think the rooster was really young when we got him, and because he was like totally fine, and now he attacks everybody except for me.
Oh yeah. That's what
he's
happens.
like. He's
He's probably not going to taste very good. Just to let you know.
No, I would imagine not. Well, Lacey looked it up and she was like, people eat roosters. And they say they're just like,
not that no, it's not the rooster. It's the type of bird he is. He's an egg bird. He's not a meat bird.
Yeah, these bird. Yeah, this thing is like super feathery. And anyway, I'm sure that
meat chickens are different than egg chickens. If that makes sense.
I just had to put that out there. Speaking of kids, if you want more, you can 100% raise some chicks.
I do not want any more right now. Yeah. I am at capacity for children. I have a 4 or 5 month old and I have a 2-year-old golden retriever, which take up all of my patience. So I'm good. But for anyone else that'll listen out there, that if you want chickens, apparently you can incubate them.
It's just the whole process is wild. Watching them hatch and stuff is just
having like Jurassic Park flashbacks.
For real. For real. Yeah. I was like, anyway, crazy. You're welcome.
One last thing. If you're still listening, we need a huge favor. If you could please follow, subscribe, whatever you're listening on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, whatever, just follow the show, please. Send the show to someone that you think it would help. We're trying to grow our numbers. They have made it harder than ever for podcasters to grow recently. And so the only way they're doing this is through follows, subscriptions. Listens matter, but they want more of a following, I guess, to count it in the numbers. I don't know. I don't have control. So like I said, we're just rolling with the punches, baby, and adapting. But if y'all could just do us a huge favor and help us spread the love, spread the news about our show. And we appreciate you guys listening. Until next time, we'll catch you later.
This, we know that you're committed to upping your game in the arena, and we're teaming up with the Rodeo Now app to help you do just that. The Rodeo Now app allows you to record, upload, and catalog your rides and runs, review your performances in slow motion, and our favorite feature, if you're not familiar with your stock draw, you can search your animal by name to get all the intel you need to make your next ride a winning one. Join the rodeo revolution today and download the Rodeo Now app for free. It's available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. If you want to learn more about our coaches and program options, make sure to swing over to our website at www.championlivingfitness.com. You can fill out the Become an Athlete form to set up your free consultation and have all your questions answered by a coach.